For Reaper Metal Productions, I am Adam of Unbaptized Records, making a brand new video for you today. And today I'm going to do, I guess it's like an A through Z challenge. So go through my record collection and represent one of each letter, the alphabet. I went through and I noticed I do not have, I think, J, X, and Y. Oh no, Z, Y, and V. So every other letter of the alphabet I have. So I'll go A through Z to the best of my ability, show off examples, try to do some bands and records that I haven't really talked about much. So give some of them a shout out. And so for A, I chose Demo, I guess you'd call it Demo Band, but it's Amon. So this is Deicide, pre-Deicide, with their two releases, Sacrificial and Feasting the Beast. So 89 and 87 demos here. This is Darkness Shall Rise. The cool kind of marbly red. So this is a great release. I'm glad I picked this up. Comes with a really cool poster of the band on the back, and really good release. Really good vocals, cool pre-Deicide stuff. Pretty similar to regular, first and second album, but some of the songs have a bit of a more black metal vibe to it. These vocals, and I had just never heard of it. Being a fairly big Deicide fan, this is definitely something I'm now leaning towards. So once I collect all the albums by a band, that's when I start going to the demo stuff or just things I missed in between, live stuff, maybe 7 inches, more rare stuff, splits, bootlegs, sort of. I mean, don't care too much about them, but there are some in my collection. So, as I really get through more of the releases, then that's when I would hit that kind of stuff. But this is a really good release, and I feel like if you're a Deicide fan, you probably already own it, but definitely worth grabbing if you don't already have it. Next, we have a split. This is Bent C into Dust. So for B, it's Bent C. You can even see it there. So this is a super group, I would suppose. So it has Shane Embry, Dirk Fierburen, and on vocals, Sven of Aborted. So this is kind of a cool release, and I discovered this through Reaper Metal because the B-side is this band To Dust, and Tommy of Redefying Darkness, I believe, does drums for it. So yeah, so Joe Reed is vocals, Tom Haywood does guitar and bass. Sorry, so he's not drums. And someone named Zach Gibson does drums. So that's pretty cool. And this says all music is by Tommy. So that's pretty cool. So if you don't have this release, it's fairly affordable. I definitely grabbed it for like maybe $10, maybe less. It's got this kind of cool purpley marble. So definitely recommend it. And Bent C is a pretty interesting side project from a few people you may not necessarily think would all get together. So this is cool. This was introduced to me when Reaper had Dirk Fierburen on his show back in the day. So definitely worth checking that out. And speaking of which, this is just happenstance. The CD was on Reaper Metal, and this LP is Redefying Darkness, as you can see here. But that release is Cyst, Frozen Casket. Really cool. Kind of outside of my usual. So this is sort of like prog death, I guess you would call it. Progressive death metal. Sort of like a later death. Maybe Atheist. Think bands like that. Really cool color too. This definitely gives you a great feeling for the album art. So the idea of a bunch of people being frozen in some wasteland, it definitely gives you that Frozen Tundra vibe too. So I think this is technically just an EP. There's 3 songs on each side. But this is definitely a cool release. I think Hell's Headbangers might still have copies left. I know my local record store has a few copies as well. So definitely recommend checking this out. Or you can grab the CD if you can still find a copy, because Reaper put this out. So that's definitely cool. Another HH release, band I just saw recently. It's absolutely fantastic. I loved it. And I have some patches in here as well. It's the thrash metal band Desolace. These guys were absolutely awesome. So this is the only release they have so far. Unfortunately, I did not get to meet Travis, the drummer, because he's currently on tour with Cavalera, I believe. But Vivek and Jimmy were really cool to meet. I have a picture of me with Vivek as a thumbnail for one of the videos, and related to the video because it was me talking about the show I went to. Someone decided to get angry and say thumbnails were deceiving and not related to the video. I'm like, well, it's literally me at the concert, so I don't know what you're talking about, but whatever. This is an awesome release. I have the CD, the LP, and the tape. I had them sign all three, and I grabbed 2 copies, the patch, which I've already shown off, so really no need to do too much more, but I want to give them justice because I think they're a cool band, and this is the tape cover I still have with it, and a really cool LP. I always love this. This is probably one of my favorite parts of collecting LPs, besides obviously listening to the music, but I just love the cool colors. So, I don't know, maybe that's a weird thing. Maybe it's not what the true heads would do and care about what color the LPs are, but again, at the end of the day, the music is the most important part. But, I mean, it's fun. You're collecting this stuff. They make rare colors. It's not like I particularly care about first releases either. I'm more of a fan of getting the album, usually later pressings because they're cheaper. I don't really need an early pressing, but if it's a color versus a black vinyl, I'm definitely going to go color. All right, so since I only have, I think, 22 albums, 22 of the 26 letters of the alphabet, I'm going to do probably 4 videos. So I'll do like 6 and 5. Is that mathing? Yeah, 6 and 5, 6 and 5, something like that. Not to make these videos too long. But next is a death metal band from Canada. It's the band Expunged. Into Never Shall. Okay. Yeah, Into Never Shall. Okay, it's a very interesting title, but sure. These guys look metal, all right? Denim and leather, for sure. I actually have the sticker of this album art that Hells put out when they put this out up on my bookshelf over there. So this is a really cool release. And as always, if I ever come across one of those inserts that has the digital download, I could have sworn this did. I guess it didn't, but I will always flash it up on the screen. So hopefully, cool. But yeah, definitely check this out. I have the CD and LP. It does have like, the HM2 vibe, and it says right there. So I know some people could find that sort of Swedish death metal sound a little boring. I haven't heard a ton of bands that use it. I mean, I know there are tons out there, but it's kind of cool too, the color scheme. So if you're kind of bored of that sound, just skip over this. You don't necessarily need it. I mean, granted, they're not technically, a Swedish band doing the sound. It's, I believe they're from Canada, and they even kind of have like maybe even a death doom vibe to it. It's not 100% death metal. So kind of in the vibe of a band like Temple of Void, sort of. It's Temple of Void with the HM2 distortion, so not quite as doomy as that, but a little hint of it. And then last but not least is one of my favorite bands. You've probably heard me talk about them a million times, but I'm going to talk about them a million more because I would hope, especially at some point, if I can, I would love to get these guys on my label. I would love to do an LP release of their full length, or maybe even an LP of their first 2 EPs or something, because all they have are kind of CDRs with that, which I own, and I will definitely do a deep dive of this band at some point. Deeper dive is Flayed Disciple. This is the self-titled EP. So there's 3 songs, Sick Abomination, The Maniac, and The Gates of Bedlam. It's really cool, and sure I've shown this before, but got my signatures in the back. Super cool. And I got a poster in here. Got a few stickers, one up on my bookshelf, and then just this little red vinyl. And the cool thing is, one side is 33 RPM, the other one's 44 or 45, so that was kind of interesting. The 2 songs here, 33, and then the 1 song on the other side that went 45, which I never questioned it. I never thought about that, but I guess it makes sense. I just never knew you could do it. I just assume bands wouldn't necessarily do it, but that's just kind of interesting for a little fun fact. So that is my A, B, C, D, E, F. Next will be G through M. So I will see you in the next video.